Uma. Uma, how lovely to see you again. I'm loving this. What a great look. It's a great outfit.
Oh, well, thank you. You too.
So, Nymphomaniac.
Nymphomaniac.
Okay.
Yes, for real.
When they sent you the script, was it already called Nymphomaniac?
It was.
Okay, so you knew what you were getting yourself into, so to speak?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, but I am one of the only people who does remain clothed.
Yes, we don't see your
Which
bits.
is why I'm in the trailer a lot, I think, because very little they can put in.
Well, we see everyone else's bits. I mean, and you see there's a lot of bits involved.
There's plenty of bits involved, and there's probably, I have no idea how many dozens or hundreds of bits of people it took to create this montage of bits, because I think they had stunt bits.
Oh, so we're not seeing all the bits that we think are connected to those people. That's not necessarily their bits.
No, they're tricks of the camera, I think. You know, some of them, but you don't know which are real bits and which are whose bits.
Because some bits are bigger than others.
Well, you get all the bits there.
Is that why people want other people's bits to be their bits? That their bits aren't as big as they would like their bits to be, so they get a bit double in?
That's the great thing about the movies, is you can have anyone's bits be your bits, and as soon as you've got a really good bit.
Let's, before we show, we're going to show you the trailer of the movie. I was going to show a clip with you in, but I thought, because your scene is very intense and very dramatic, to show it out of context seemed a bit weird.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? But how would you describe the film? Is there a kind of message that you send out about the movie to people?
Well, I don't know. I think that, I mean, the title really is the subject.
It's about a woman who
It's really about nymphomania. It's about a person whose life is sort of based upon their, like, insatiable need for sex.
But Shia LaBeouf, who
Yes.
many of you would know from, you know, bigger commercial movies like the Transformers film. I've always thought he was a gifted actor.
He is.
Yeah, but he seems to be going through some kind of a weird kind of meltdown right now.
It is apparently he's having something go on.
He's having a moment.
I don't know how to interpret the paper bag, to tell you the truth.
Well,
I mean, I'm jealous. I've many times wished I could have put a paper bag over my head before I went to a premiere, so I'm glad he thought of it first.
Well, this is Shia LaBeouf as he arrived at the premiere.
Okay.
Okay, there we go.
It's the funny thing about doing that is it makes you far more famous to do it.
Yeah. Turning up with "I am not famous anymore" written on your face is a way of getting even more famous.
Look what's happened now.
Yeah, yeah. Do you think this will catch on?
Maybe. I mean, maybe there'll be, like, Chanel paper bags and Givenchy paper bags, and it'll become a total trend, you know? You can wear anything you want to... You look good in a paper bag, right?
Well,
Isn't that the saying?
You know what? If you can't turn up, you can't make it to the premiere, send a friend along with the bag
in a
on
paper
their
bag.
Let me ask you about the great, the wonderful, the uniquely talented Mr. Quentin Tarantino.
Yes.
Three of your most...
affectionately QT.
QT, you say. Now, of course, you worked with him in Pulp Fiction, and that was a huge hit. But the Kill Bill films, and some people might know this, that was sort of your idea, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't my idea. It started off in a late-night conversation, and he was educating me about genre films. And then from there, we got going about... You know, from him telling me what a genre film was, literally, to, you know, spinning into this idea of this character and this revenge, you know, sort of set up for this woman. And then he went and he, you know, he birthed the idea. He wrote about, I don't know, 10 or 15 pages. And that was the time when we were doing Pulp Fiction. And and he gave them to me, and I read them. And you know, you don't think much of it. And then he went back to it, and he wrote what was going to be one film, and then was split into two.
But Kill Bill, because I thought you came up with the idea of her being a bride who had this terrible thing happen to her.
We did it. It was just sort of in this conversation, you know. I would never take credit for Quentin's work. I think it does speak for itself.
And have you still got those jumpsuits? Because you must have used more than one of those.
I have probably that jumpsuit soaked in blood, turning very brown and crusty in some wardrobe bag somewhere.
And when you're filming a movie like that, do you allow the kids... I imagine your children haven't seen the finished film yet. How old is your oldest, though? They're 15 now, aren't they?
She's now 15, yeah.
So she could see it. 15, you could show a 15-year-old that.
Yeah, they did see it. In fact, but there was a sort of precursor setup. You know, Quentin came for dinner, and my son said, "So, you know, what is Kill Bill about?" He's very together, my son. And he goes, "Well, it's about this woman and this man, and he is really mad at her, and he puts a gun to her head, and he blows her brains out, and she's pregnant." And he's going on explaining this to my son, and my son's sitting there like... You know, like, really, Mommy's friend is really nice. Wow, what a nice movie he thought of for Mommy.
I watched it again recently, and I'd forgotten. I think maybe I enjoyed it more now. I loved them when they first came out, but I think they stand the test of time so well. I mean, you must have a good feeling, having made something which you know is essentially a classic.
It is a classic. It is a classic. And what Andrew said was so touching. You know, that, I mean, I must say as well, to be on this show tonight with such incredibly talented people, and there was some moving things said tonight. If it gave him any help or support, it's a wonderful thing. Given it's kind of a wild, crazy...
Well, let's face it, who would have thought Kill Bill would
is a hand-holder. No, he wouldn't think of it as a hand-holder.
So what do you have? Because I know that you're obviously very family-centred, and you have been for
Yeah,
years.
well, I had a child who's now what I call a teen baby. She's 19 months. And so I'm just sort of... I did the Lars movie because I couldn't resist. But it, you know, wasn't like this... You know, I didn't have to go commit to a long production.
Well, I guess because it's one big scene.
It was one big scene, and I actually did it in one big day.
So,
you know,
it's a day, so a few days all
yeah,
told,
so that was easy. So since then, I haven't figured out what exactly I want to do next. So I'm in the process of figuring that out.
But you know, before you go, I know you're here. You're going to be giving out an award at the big BAFTA ceremony this coming weekend.
Yes.
That's always exciting.
Very.
But also, you're meeting the Queen.
Yes, I have been invited.
Now, have you met the Queen before?
No.
Okay. Have you boned up on the protocol?
I've been asking and receiving some information. I'm going to be boning up a lot.
Okay.
I have a few days to go.
I've met the Queen a few times.
And so, what do you want to tell me?
You're meant to wait until the Queen engages you in conversation.
I heard that too.
And not ask questions.
And I heard not to ask her any annoying questions.
I can't help myself. Every time I've met her, I've asked her questions.
No.
Yes.
It's because it's what you do for a living.
I said once, you haven't...
You ever ask her...
Tragically... But you're going to one of her places, aren't you?
Yes.
Which one are you going to?
Buckingham Palace.
Buckingham Palace, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm so excited. I know. I feel very, very privileged.
Can I check in advance?
Yes.
And you probably have thought of this.
Tell me.
So
Probably not.
I'm going to look closely to see if I see the flicker of an untruth coming out.
OK, look closely.
Have you planned on stealing anything as a memento of your occasion at Buckingham Palace? You have thought about it.
No, but what a great idea.
There'll be stuff in the toilets they won't
Yeah,
notice.
you could take those little sticky things that they put on the loo paper, you know?
Matches? No. I would take, like, a vase, something like that.
You would go for a full-on vase.
Take a big... Here's my advice. Take a large, empty bag. Get what you can. Andrew, you must have met the Queen, I'm sure, haven't you?
Yes, I have indeed. She once famously mistook me for Vladimir Putin.
Oh, dear.
Wow. Wow. That's not good. Wow.
And then how did you disabuse her of this fact?
Well, I didn't. Putin had arrived here for a state occasion, and the two of them were in an open carriage and talking via a translator. And when they got to the palace, according to a friend of mine at the palace, somebody asked her, "Mom, you were talking to the Russian president very vigorously. What were you talking about?" And she said, "I can't remember. I was just trying to say to myself, this is the president of Russia, and not that chap here from the BBC."
Uma, lovely to have you here. And congratulations, it's a fabulous performance in Nymphomaniac.
Well,
I
thank
think
you.
it's, and once again, it's a movie which, if you've got a broad mind and you're interested in the human condition examined in a very kind of uncompromising way...
Detailed.
Check it out. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in saying thank you to the spectacular Uma Thurman.